The observation deck of the colony's ship hummed with a low mechanical rhythm as Emma stood before the curved viewport, watching the twin suns of Kepler 4 to be dipped below the horizon, painting the alien sky in shades of violet and amber. She had been stationed on this world for 3 years now, and the view never failed to stir something deep within her chest, a mixture of wonder and profound loneliness. Behind her the door slid open with a soft hiss, and she knew without turning who had entered. The room. Zela moved with a grace that seemed impossible for someone nearly 7 feet tall, her footsteps barely audible against the metal floor. Despite her size, the Venari woman had that effect, making the world around her seem to hold its breath. Emma glanced over her shoulder and felt her heart do that familiar stumble it always did when she saw Zela. The alien woman's skin held an iridescent quality, shifting between deep blues and purples depending on the light. Her eyes were large and luminous, colored like molten gold with vertical pupils that contracted slightly as they adjusted to the dimmer interior lighting. 2 elegant horns curved back from her forehead, disappearing into the long silver hair that cascaded down her back in intricate braids. "You always come here at sunset," Zela said, her voice carrying that melodic quality that reminded Emma of wind chimes. Her English had improved dramatically over the past year, though her accent still gave certain words an exotic lilt. Emma turned back to the viewport, wrapping her arms around herself. "It reminds me that no matter how far from Earth I travel, some things remain constant." Suns still set, the day still ends. Shayla moved to stand beside her, their reflections ghosting in the transparent material between them and the alien world beyond. "On your world you have only one sun," Zela said. It was not quite a question. She had asked Emma many things about Earth with an insatiable curiosity that matched Emma's own desire to understand them. "Vener, just one," Emma confirmed, "but it feels like 100 on summer days back in California, where I grew up." "California," Zela repeated the word carefully as if tasting it. "I would like to see this place someday. Your descriptions make it sound beautiful, though you always seem sad when you speak of it." Emma felt a tightness in her throat, because Zela was right. Home had become a complicated concept for her. The colony mission was supposed to last 5 years, but already they were discussing extensions. The research they were conducting with the Venari was too important to abandon, and Emma had been chosen to continue as the primary human liaison, the role she had fallen into almost by accident when she had been the first to successfully communicate with Zela during that tense first contact 3 years ago. "Am said," Emma admitted, "because I know I might never see it again. The journey here took 2 years in cryo sleep, and by the time I could return, everyone I knew will have aged while I remained frozen in time. My little brother will be older than me. My parents might be gone." Zela was quiet for a long moment, and Emma felt rather than saw the slight shift as the alien woman moved closer until their shoulders almost touched. "This is why you call yourselves humanity from ashes," Zela said, using the rough translation of the HFY motto that the colonists had adopted. "Would prefer humanity stands strong," Emma corrected gently. "But yes, the idea is the same, that humans endure, adapt, survive, no matter the cost." "Venari have a similar concept," Zela said. "We say that the strongest vines are those that learn to grow in darkness. You humans arrived on our world in your metal ship, and instead of demanding or taking, you asked to learn. You offered friendship even when we could have destroyed you." That first day, Emma remembered that day with crystal clarity. The colony ship had detected the Venari energy signatures and landed hoping to find ruins of an ancient civilization. Instead, they had found a thriving people who possessed technology that made human achievements look primitive. The Venari could have vaporized the colonists without effort, but something had stayed their hand, perhaps curiosity, perhaps mercy. "You could have," Emma agreed, "but you didn't, and I have spent every day since grateful for that choice." Zela turned to face her fully, and Emma found herself caught in that golden gaze. There was an intelligence there that humbled her. The Venari had been traveling between stars when humans were still figuring out agriculture. They had encountered hundreds of species, and Emma had learned that many of those encounters had not ended peacefully. Humanity was young, reckless, and fragile in comparison. "He did not come here tonight to speak of first contact," Zela said, her voice dropping lower. "I came because tomorrow you must give your answer to Commander Peterson about the extension." Emma's stomach clenched. She had been trying not to think about it. Peterson wanted her to stay another 3 years to continue building the relationship between their species. The Venari had begun sharing some of their technology, with the colonists teaching them to harness the unique properties of Kepler-442b's magnetic field for energy, but the exchange was delicate, requiring trust. That had been hard-won if I stay, Emma said slowly. I lose any chance of a normal life back on Earth. If I go, we might lose everything we have built. Hurry, is that the only reason you hesitate? Zayla asked. Emma felt heat rise to her cheeks, because no, it was not the only reason. And they both knew it. Over the past year, something had shifted between them. Conversations had grown longer, touches had lingered, glances had held weight. Emma had tried to ignore it, had told herself it was impossible, inappropriate even. But her heart had other ideas. You know it is not, Emma whispered. Zayla reached out, slowly telegraphing her movement, as she always did when touching Emma. Humans were so much small and more fragile, and Zayla was always conscious of her strength. Her long fingers with their subtle iridescence brushed against Emma's cheek. The touch feather-light among my people, Zayla said, when we find someone who makes our spirits sing, we call them our heartlights. Emma's breath caught. What are you saying? I am saying that in 3 years of knowing hundreds of humans, you are the only one who makes me feel less alone. Zayla's thumb traced along Emma's jaw. When I see you, I remember why I chose to be my people's ambassador to your kind. Why I believe this exchange was worth pursuing. You showed me that courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to reach out despite it. Emma closed her eyes, leaning into the touch. This isn't possible. We are from different worlds, different species. Shala made a sound that might have been a laugh. My people have a long history, Emma. We have seen many impossibilities become reality. The question is not whether it is impossible, but whether you want it to be possible. Emma opened her eyes and found Zayla watching her with an expression that was somehow both alien and achingly familiar, hope mixed with vulnerability. I do, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. I want it to be possible so much that it terrifies Methan. Stay, Zayla said, stay, and let us discover what possible means together. The twin suns had fully set now, and through the viewport the first stars were appearing. Kepler-442b had a clear atmosphere at night. Emma had learned to pick out certain constellations, though none matched the ones she had known on Earth. She was mapping a new sky, just as she was mapping new feelings, new possibilities. If I stay, Emma said, it cannot be just for you. I need to know that I am making the right choice for everyone, for the colony, for the Venari, for the future. We are trying to build. Zayla nodded. I would not want you to stay only for me, but Emma, I hope I am part of the reason, a reason you choose, because you matter to me in ways I am still learning to understand. Emma felt tears prick at her eyes. She thought of California, of the beaches where she had spent summers as a child, of her family, whom she might never see again, of the life she had imagined for herself before volunteering for this mission. Then she thought of the past 3 years, of the wonder she had experienced learning about the Venari, of the way Zayla's presence had become as necessary as breath. You need time, Emma said. I need tonight to think. Zayla withdrew her hand, though Emma could see the flash of disappointment in her eyes. Before she masked it, take the time you need. Whatever you decide, I will respect it. But Emma, know this, regardless of your choice, you have already changed me. You have changed how my people see humanity. You have proven that humans are not just survivors, but partners worth knowing. After Zayla left, Emma remained at the viewport for a long time. Watching the stars, she thought about what it meant to be human, to carry the weight of hope and fear in equal measure. She thought about the HFY spirit that had driven humanity to reach for the stars even when they were barely ready, about the courage it took to be vulnerable, to love, to risk everything for a chance at something beautiful. Somewhere on Earth, the sun was rising on people who went about their daily lives, never knowing that on a world 40 light years away, one of their own was deciding whether to choose love across the stars or return to the familiar comfort of home. Both choices required courage, both had merit, but as Emma stood there, feeling the hum of the colony ship beneath her feet, smelling the recycled air that was nothing like Earth's atmosphere, she realized something important. Home was not just a place, it was a feeling, and when she was with Zayla, she felt at home in a way she had never experienced before. The next morning, Emma walked into Commander Peterson's office with her decision. Her hands were steady, though her heart raced. Peterson looked up from his data pad, his expression neutral. Wait, and G will stay, Emma set for another 3 years, maybe longer if the Venari agree to the extended.